we've seen
there's always a little bit more to the story.
Names ring a bell. Romani, I know him primarily as the Roadhog one trick that used to be.
They have the pronouns of the players LMAO. Why is that weird to you? You know every person on this planet has pronouns, right? And you've used them your entire life. You're literally your entire life, and you've never even thought about it until it became political in the last 3 years. You've never thought about it, not once.
I think this roster. Don't quote me on this.
So people want to be. That's what they want to be called. That's fine. It's really not that tough.
Together, but I don't think under the Sheer Cold banner. I think the Sheer
if you
Cold
make a mistake,
changed, but
hey.
I think different players.
As long as you like, someone's like, hey, like, actually, I prefer this, and you're like, oh shit, my bad, and you move, and they correct yourself, and you move on.
Very difficult to keep track of all these
things. Not that tough.
But one thing that is worth noting about these two teams is they actually played in the Swiss.
Yeah, so he's back.
And
but so he did get laid off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know the whole story behind it, but I think she's like probably contractor now with Face It, which is good.
Two dreams alive.
Which is good, but
yeah, Sheer Cold. Like Zoe was saying too, had a pretty tough matchup in the Swiss. Like, lost every matchup against a top
16 you don't know the player's gender from their name in game? Yeah.
So they're really looking to kind of cement themselves
so it's like,
here. But
it's really not that crazy.
A tough upward tilt battle against a one-man army, like especially after coming off of a 2-0.
Really not that crazy. I don't know why people get so weird about it.
There's a lot of revenge
like if it's something that you don't care about, then just don't care about it. Just move on. You know, like that just means like if you don't mind people calling you whatever, then that's actually your preferred pronouns. It's just any then. Like there's an actual thing for it. It's called any. So if you don't care, that's yours. Any. Don't give a shit. All right, cool. If someone else wants to be called something, why not just call them what they want to be called? It's not that tough.
We'll have to wait and see how it rolls out though. As Romani, JQ is the pick.
Saying, hey, sorry, my bad, I'm going with your day. Yeah, it's not that crazy.
JQ, pretty good for Romani.
Yeah, I don't think no one's gonna witch hunt you for making a mistake. You know? No one's gonna do that. No, that's not even what they're doing. They just have it there just so you know what to call people. That's it.
It's gonna be on Ollie as the Baptista stand.
Not that crazy.
They're gonna wait for an opening.
I think it's weirder to make it
especially because they're playing the Genji.
You know?
They need to be fast tempo to be able to punish the survivability of one-man army.
Wow, they're actually playing the Junker Queen comp. I haven't seen anyone playing Queen since everyone discovered the Cass is extremely good and Orissa's got buffed.
It feels like, but just better, and you just survive forever.
Because Orisa and Queen kind of shit on, or sorry, Orisa and Cass kind of shit on Queen.
You want to use that aggressively so you can get into the fights. 1v1 duel here. Oh, does manage to get away, Killer, but. First cap, it seems to be going back and forth. Romani is still low.
Fights for anyone when the new season starts is gold weapons going to be released. What do you mean released? You'll be able to buy them again, yeah.
Exceptionally low.
Exceptionally low.
Romani loves Queen. Oh, I didn't even notice it was Romani. Okay, that makes sense. Romani's really, really good on Queen.
Soaks. Also went at fours. Ollie with a nice couple of kills at the very end there.
I thought Romani was NA.
You can see how much
I mean, I guess there is NA people playing EU, but... Hello? Unfortunately, I'm a tank mate. It's nice to meet you.
I went to the library to get a book on abdominal pain, but sadly, the appendix was ripped out.
Yeah, and that's just, Junker Queen's difficult. And if they are going to play the Queen, they need to play faster. Like, they just have to. Otherwise,
it works for that one.
Where they're just taking too much damage. They're never going to get in.
Killer's 1 HP. And Romani's dead to nade. There's a reset. Reset angle, I think. Methinks a reset angle. There we go.
Yeah, that didn't even cost them an ultimate. Maybe a pulse bomb by the wayside, but for the most part, it's still just like...
Yo, Genko, I don't know if you're still here. Sorry, I just saw that. What's up, dude?
Alright. Myas, the Genji for Sheer Cold is 70% towards that blade. Like you said,
Orochimaru Prime. Appreciate it. I love the team names. Well, there's like no orgs in Overwatch League. Or sorry, in OWCS anymore. So like all these players just come up with their own names. You know?
So sad when he gets Terra Surge.
There's a couple, but not really many.
Always just surprised they didn't pull that.
Glocks down Killer. There's the sound barrier on the high ground. Natlocks not receiving the beat in time. Xavier does take him down, and well, Killer has got something to say about this window. Just ignores it completely. There's the overclock. There's the damage we wanted to see from Sheer Cold. Not as big as we thought. That Terra Surge not getting all too much.
But I really like the
yeah, Terror Surge isn't that good, so it's fine.
They just pull the trigger. They go in with
do you feel like after the first major, orgs are going to start buying / contracting teams? Do you want my... Okay, there's two options of opinions I could give you here. I can give you my optimistic opinion, or I could give you my realistic opinion. Which one do you want? Do you want my number 1 for optimistic, or number 2 for realistic? Go with Soul thing, the Giphy, appreciate it.
In that regard, the geometry. There's the blade slashing at the high noon.
You can't say both. Both's not fair.
Actually going down. Really good.
Okay, fine. I'll give you both. You guys are such bitches. I tried to give you two options, and you said both. You greedy fucks. Okay. Optimistic is yes. Overwatch is probably going to become the budget esports for a little bit, because esports is fucking broke across the board. Nobody has any money. But if you can find a way to pay literally basically poverty wages, we're talking like $500 a month for an org, and you're able to get value out of a team, because there's literally no money floating around, you might be able to get the best players in the game for like borderline nothing. So especially smaller orgs, or orgs that don't have a giant budget right now, or hell, even orgs that used to be in Overwatch and think that there's potential, talking your NRGs type of things, right? Just want to see how a year goes without the Overwatch League format. Like, can it still, does it still do well? How is DreamHack gonna be, right? Is DreamHack Dallas gonna be a success? Because, like, for example, CS does a lot of stuff at DreamHacks, right? So I think a lot of people are kind of in wait and see mode, and in my own personal opinion, I think Overwatch is on the upswing. I think they're doing a lot of good things. I think tank is the only thing that's genuinely holding them back. The tank experience is so fucking terrible that if that wasn't a thing, like, Overwatch genuinely would be in a really good spot. But tank is so fucking bad that, like, people are still feeling there's problems, you know? But a lot of it's waiting and seeing. The industry's broke. People are scared because, like, you know, economies, and, you know, if there's a looming global recession, you probably don't want to be spending money on video games, right? Because it's not hitting the same way as it did pre-pandemic, because you don't have all the COVID money. But you have the potential for...
the tank problem is really good. Recommend a watch if you find the time.
I think it's 25 months, maybe. But yeah, basically Overwatch could become like a budget esport for a little bit. The good thing about being a budget esport means it's super easy to get into, and if it performs well and continues to do well over the next couple of years, that opens it up as orgs get more money again, potentially, as economies do better. It has a chance to recover, right?
I think it does, surely, right?
That's the optimistic take.
That's really silly, but it works.
Use it against the Cassidy, and then the Cassidy can't.
Do you want the realistic one?
Take that, Cass.
It depends on how much
Cold really starting to find their footing, and it felt like they were getting
Saudi money is actually getting pumped.
One-man army was just able to hold on. The staying power of the Baptiste, like you can see, every time they're putting up the window, Romani just can't do anything. Like, as soon as Romani peeks his head around, he's taking too much damage. So if Romani
that's the realistic answer.
Damage a little bit, and they can almost go for more flanks and routing around to catch people off in one-man army, I think that should work better for them.
Because if it ends up being a lot,
same stuff for sheer cold, little comfort.
People will follow.
Skitzer doesn't have a tracer,
still early though, because people did it with crypto. Don't forget about that. Everybody knew crypto was not a great idea. You know, there's a lot of issues, and that was what was keeping esports afloat for a long time. So you have that. It's gonna pretty much come down to probably Gamba. Like, we're talking like your DraftKings, you're talking, you know, ways for people to bet on games, because the fastest growing industry in America right now is gambling, especially sports gambling. So depending on sports gambling and Saudi money, because you have the Esports World Cup that's coming up, Face It, all under the same umbrella, and
like the
OWCS as well. So it depends. And also, you can see it in other games. Apex had an announcement this week that Apex is being played in the Esports World Cup. Depending on how much money is it, orgs and teams will follow. So realistically, it's genuinely just how big the number is. Because if the number's big enough, you can make anything work. And Overwatch League proved that, because Overwatch League was fucking terrible. But they had endless amounts of money for a few years, so they could just hard force it.
That would have been pretty cool if you got a kill off of that, but not to be.
Go for the cars.
Yeah, do not get booped into the cars, please.
Okay, Ultimate's coming up now. Look,
you can't bet on face-up matches on CS, but the prize pool is nice. I mean, hasn't CS had like big problems with like betting stuff in the past? Like, isn't there like some of the most famous esports like issues from CS? I'm not like totally familiar with the whole thing, but why was Overwatch League getting so much? Because half the team owners were billionaires. If you're a billionaire with a fucking B, $1 million or $2 million to you is legitimately nothing. Especially on a potential business endeavor that could blow up into the next big thing. Which is what it was sold as. Overwatch League was sold as the next big thing. That's why it was a home and away format. That's why it was supposed to be a global league. It was all the... Bobby Kotick sold it to his billionaire buddies as the next big moneymaker. And they were like, dude, we can get involved for like a couple million? And it could potentially be a money-making business into the next potential billion-dollar industry? Hell yeah. And so, it went on for, what, 3 or 4 years, and they kind of started to see, oh, this ain't looking too good, actually. And then it all came crashing down after the contract was over. But that's why they had unlimited, at least, or not unlimited, but they had close to unlimited for a bit.
Insane value. Still pretty low.
Ooh.
And there's the pause. Damn it. Okay. Unlucky. Unlucky.
Unlucky pause.
Unlucky pause.
All right. Well, now we wait things out. Romani does get the kill onto Ollie, so it should feel like.
I think Romani might be in trouble there, though. He's not looking good.
Team fight win. We saw what they did last time.
I sold them on the idea and then trying to smother the game to death.
Get percentage up. So anything is possible if they start cycling their ultimates, but
there's a lot of things that happen there. There's a lot of things that kind of happen there. Because when he probably did that, right, he probably wanted the game to be the next gigantic esport and to make them tons of money. But Jeff and the Overwatch League, or the Overwatch team, were thinking PvE, and were thinking about going that route, right? They were trying to make a more complete game, almost like a World of Warcraft. They were trying to make an FPS World of Warcraft, and they wanted to go PvE, and they had done some PvE stuff and it had worked. And they probably wanted hardcore competitive PvP. And so their hard split between what the devs thought was best and what he wanted. And so Overwatch League was doing some really fucked up shit too on behind the scenes. They did a lot of really bad like antitrust shit, and if that ever gets investigated, I would love to see the outcome of that, because I think if the US government actually looked into all that stuff, I think they would actually get smoked, if I'm completely honest. So they probably wanted to go a different route. They also probably didn't see Overwatch as an extremely hardcore competitive shooter. Because remember, for years, everyone used to argue that Overwatch was not balanced as a competitive game. It was balanced as a casual game. And a great example of that was Brig, right? Like, Tracer was dominating the game for the first, like, 2-3 years, and nobody could figure out how to beat Tracer that was, you know, below plat. So they created Brig, a character that could one-shot the character that is destroying everybody, right?
Not control, because we're not starting any of this. What other mode are you merging with Escort?
So
2CP assault.
Yes, exactly. You're using
they realized that was a big hold up. First up, SK, thank you for the big raid. You the GOAT. I don't know if you saw my message. I left because I know you were like 3 minutes in the future, but thank you for the big prime. Hello, SK Raiders who are coming in. You are the... Oh, wait a minute. Is this DMCA? Am I gonna... Oh, no, we're good. Yeah, you the GOAT, racking up the kills. Honestly, kinda, I really did think, low-key, that you guys were gonna make the comeback. because of that. Like, you got like momentum. You guys actually won like 4 fights in a row off of that. I was like, wait. Yo, Victor, thank you for the DFing 3 months of tier 1 to SK. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It was close. Poor Boger came in here immediately after and was like, I hate tank. I hate it here. Because like he actually made a couple cool plays and they instantly cut away from him every time and he just exploded. Like legitimately didn't even get to play the game. I was like, wow, that fucking blows, dude. Well, you popped off. We all proud. Our goat. Yeah, you joined at a very weird time though if you're just coming in now. Chat, what were you talking? We were talking about OWCS. We were talking about future Overwatch, Overwatch League. I don't remember if I finished it. What I was talking about. Oh yeah, but basically, yeah, old Overwatch was in a big conflict with itself. Did Boger raid me? I don't think so. If he did, I missed it. He just popped in here, just started talking. Why Brig was created? Yeah. But basically, there was probably a massive internal conflict between like Jeff and the Overwatch team and Bobby, and wanting a extremely competitive esport versus like the good of the game. Oh, Boger rated SK and then SK rated Flats. Okay, that makes sense. Not really too many cooks. I mean, I guess kind of too many cooks in the kitchen, but it's more of like he probably had a vested interest, right? Because he sold the billionaire buddies the idea of this extremely popular esport that will make them millions and millions of dollars, and didn't feel like they were doing what they could or should to live up to that, right? But yeah, kind of hope the U.S. government someday looks into that, because I feel like they would get a big score. It's funny how they committed to PvP now that Bobby is gone. It is actually quite ironic, actually. But like,
let's get some more months on the board.
Yo, thank you to tier 3 for 38 months. Appreciate it as well. It is quite ironic, because in some way, in some sick, twisted way, he kind of was right about trying to go the PvP route versus PvE route. However, though, we never even got to give them a chance to make a good PvE game, because it was so handicapped and just constantly fucking it the entire way. But like, you know, that's a good example of like just how spiteful that he was, right? Because if you don't want them to make something and you're trying to get them to make something else and they refuse, and you just sabotage the other thing they're making, then in the end you can sit there and look at it and go, see, I was right, your thing was terrible. But it's like, no, you caused it to be terrible, right? So Microsoft also, they didn't see PvE as profitable, or that's something I saw. That wasn't Microsoft that said that. That was Blizzard saying that, but because they were right, because the first PvE missions was a fucking joke. I had fun playing them for the story, but that's it. And dude, I fucking beat this shit to death at this point, and that's why I went to war with the entire Overwatch community. It was like, dude, because a corporate entity is telling you that PvE is not canceled, it's just being reframed, is not real. That is a corpa telling you what to think, and you're eating it up. You're like, no offense, but you're so fucking naive. And that's why I went to war about it, because like I knew that it was bullshit. Like it was not what it was originally supposed to be, and it sold so badly that it wasn't even worth releasing the almost finished content, right? That's why they did it, is because it was so bad. Like it literally made them, like, it was so little amount of money that's not even worth putting it out. That's why they did it. It wasn't about being profitable. It was genuinely so low that even just putting on the finishing touches was so fucking low that the amount of time it would take to put the finishing touches on wasn't even worth it. That's really bad. That means like, if I had to make an educated guess, I bet it made...
On MAC the other day, they did go to number 5. They did go to a map number 5, but Pelly did.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do some quick maths, just so I can kind of have a frame of reference.
For them, though. I generally do not think so. However, if you have strong opinions about the best mode ever,
I could. Even that's actually probably a little bit high.
Feel free to tweet them at us or write them in the Instagram comments.
I bet it made about 70,000. $70,000 because it was $15 for the pack for all the missions. That would equal about a little less than 5,000 people bought it, which I could see. 5,000 people probably bought it out of like the millions of people who play the game over time. 5,000 people probably bought it. Probably made about 70,000. That's my guess. That's my guess.
I'll do the research. I'm gonna throw in a lorem ipsum on some random person's Instagram post and see how far I can take it. She's just gonna start copy pasting trash talk on your post, Scott. That's what she's. That's what's gonna happen now.
I don't use this.
I think a lot more than 5,000 bought it.
Digging up your old post, bro.
And here I was going out of my way to tag you on Instagram.
Considering a skin, and I've talked to people about this. Considering a skin takes about $100,000 to make, right? So if a skin takes about $100,000 to make, because of like the whole pipeline between getting an artist, coming up with designs, coming up with concepts, all that stuff, right? It takes about a year, give or take. It would have to be significantly less. So that's why I was originally going to say about 100K. People, it probably made, but honestly, I don't even think that many people bought it. So.
And afterwards, we hope to be back with this series as we're still waiting for the issues to be resolved.
That's just not true. Oh, okay. So I just got lied to by the people who actually do the work. That makes sense. Sure, man. Sure, I guess. Yeah, they don't work there anymore. They used to work there, but I don't think that's really changed. It wasn't that long ago. Between how much time it takes to get the artist, designing, concepting, doing a bunch of different, like you have to pay the artist for all the sketches, all the things that they make, and then they do a bunch of iterations. Then they go back through and like, okay, let's tweak this, let's make this. Okay, we like this one. Can we see different versions of this one, different colors, different schemes? And then you go all the way through it, and then eventually, okay, we like this design. Now it's concepted. It's like, does it work in the game? No, it doesn't work in the game because like the scarf they have is too flowy and it's too much. Okay, so let's redesign it then. And you have to go all that. Then eventually you actually start to put it into the game. Now once it's in the game, then it's got to go through testing, and then there's only a certain amount of people that can test stuff in the game, right? Like there's people that test all the new content, they test all the new skins. I would assume balance is probably a different group, but probably anything that goes into the game, from like new events to new skins to the battle pass stuff, sprays, all that stuff has to get tested, right? Does it work in the game? Is there any glitches? If you put it on a wall, if you stand near certain walls, right? Like QA testers have to do all this shit, right? You're paying all those people for their time, right? You pay all those people for their time the whole way through. Yeah, but when you say an average artist salary, it's not one person. I don't know what you're talking about, cause
like
you're fucking nuts. I'm sorry, like you're not talking about one person. You're talking about all the people that are involved, from coding it, from making it, from drawing it, to testing it, to lightings, to see if there's any bugs with it, to see if the hitboxes are correct. Like there's so many people that do all this stuff for each item that comes through a game, and those people got to get paid, right? Like they get paid for their daily costs. So, and you have pipeline issues, right? Like if you have only, let's say, 25 people that QA test, right? And those people do all of your skins, all of your sprays, new events, goofy game modes like April Fools, you know, like the game modes like the Orisa game mode where like the giant beasts, right? If they do all these things, right? And they have to do it multiple times. If you've ever done QA testing for a video game, you don't play it once and then you're gone. You play it multiple times to look for bugs. And then if you discover a bug, you have to report it. And then the bug gets reported, they fix it, and then you go back and do it again. It takes a lot of time, right? So a lot of this stuff is done way in advance. And actually, you want to know even further? You know what my theory is? You know why we have a Mercy Mythic right now? This coming season? You want to know why we have a Mercy Mythic? This is my theory. I will tell you my theory. Because in Season 8, the Orisa Mythic was so bad that people were like, this is terrible, there's no options. And actually, Jared, one of the executive producer of the Overwatch team, one of the head devs, came out and said, we underestimated how important that customizations were to people. We thought different colors would be really good, but we underestimated how much people really wanted more customizations. And so you know what probably happened? They probably had to shift around the order of the battle pass and the mythics. And by doing that, they could put the ones that had way more customizations to the front that were almost done, and ones that maybe they had in the backlog that were gonna be released that didn't have as much options, they cycled them out. And so now they're gonna go back to those old ones and add more options to them. So that's why you probably got double support back to back. So when you sit there and you go, that's just not true.
For a week,
you'd be surprised.
It has double tank gameplay.
Probably not. It's tournaments. It's probably what it is. It's probably what happened. And there's other examples. Mauga was supposed to be the first tank of Overwatch 2. They were going to release Mauga instead of Ramatra, but you know what they did? They flipped them, because the idea was that at some point soon the PvE was going to be coming out, and you need to know who that person's going to be, right? But don't forget the second mission of the PvE. You hear Ramatra talking, and everyone's like, "Who is that? Who's that supposed to be?" And so they got all jumbled up, and they were like, "Oh fuck!" Like, you know, like the PvE was created way before that, so they didn't have time to switch it all around. Oh man, there's dude, if I went down like the conspiracy / like stuff got changed around rabbit hole, we could be here for days. We could be here for weeks.
Hello, welcome back. We're about to jump into the game again. Sorry about the small delay there, of course.
So you know what's probably happened? That's probably why you have the Mercy Mythic today. It's probably were working on that for a while, and it was probably going to be the next support Mythic. But the next whatever Mythic they were going to come out with didn't have as many customizations. Holy shit, this pause was incredible.
Just the way that the rules work, they've been given a lot of time, so they will have to play for.
Yeah.
They're in. They're alive.
Oh my, the split.
Solved. Crisis averted.
Okay. Unless,
that would mean they moved the entire battle pass up.
Unless they're just, I don't know. Anyway, we're playing.
I don't think that's true. Why wouldn't that be true? When Overwatch 2 launched, Aaron Keller himself said that they were, when on Season 1, Day 1, that they were currently working on Season 8 stuff. You know that, right? When Overwatch Season 1 launched, Aaron Keller himself talked about that they were working on Season 8 stuff back in October of 2022.
And that's map, I think, Scott. Damn, that was anticlimactic. Sorry about that, guys, with the pause. But there you go. There's the round. There's the map. One-man army up.
They absolutely could.
In this series.
Avo living up to the team name.
Because they work fucking hard. I don't think you guys understand. The Overwatch team works really fucking hard. They probably realized, oh shit, we need to make a change. And full steam ahead made changes. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. You also got to remember, this isn't the same Overwatch team as years before, and they also are no longer under the Bobby Kotick umbrella. They probably can do a lot of stuff that they never even thought about doing before. And it's stuff you probably never hear about.
Don't forget Malgar was originally Sigma 2.
Was he? I don't remember that part. He was 200 bits. Didn't they literally come out and say they were making changes after everyone hated the Orisa Mythic? That's what I'm trying to point out to you.
And as such, it is once again time for fun snake fact of the month. While snakes have nostrils, they use their tongues to smell, flicking them out and picking up tiny chemical particles in the air.
Thanks for 3 months, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's really not that crazy. I mean, it's crazy to think about, like, wow, they actually they gave enough of a shit to make such drastic changes to their schedule and what they were trying to do because the community wanted it. But, like, if you watch the way the Overwatch team has been working with the community recently, it seems to be their new focus. Their new focus is they want to work with the community. They want to make things better. They want to create a game together with the community. And they've even changed their wording in things like blogs, where at the end they now say what their internal break is at the end of their Monday morning meeting when they go over the Overwatch stuff. is let's make a great game. They've even pulled us in on that. So if you sit there and say like, well, there's no way, like I actually don't think it's that far-fetched.
Yeah,
nice haircut, Flex. Yo, thanks, Mohammed. Appreciate it, dude. I don't know if you're still here. Sorry, I've been kind of ranting at Twitch chat.
I think, especially on non-control maps, because you are against.
Jesus Christ, that was a pause. Yeah, that was a really long pause.
Kind of slowly winning.
Malgo was originally scheduled to release when Sigma was, but the kit didn't fill in the character design. Ah, okay. I didn't know about that, or at least I forgot about that.
Looking at the numbers, that'll do it. Just the huge kill differ.
6.8 to 1.4. That's crazy, actually. Yo, Wild, thanks for the gifty. Okay, dude. Okay, dude.
Yeah. I'm going to take left.
Honestly, the change to Overwatch made me keep playing, even though I don't agree with the balance. Oh, I've always said that. I've said that I think Overwatch is doing everything right now except balance. Balance is the only thing that would kill this game. I've been saying that for months. I've been saying that for years. I think I started saying that about like
funniest round on the planet.
When was I saying that actually? At least like September. At least September. At least September.
Especially if you're playing on hotspots. So massive props to them.
Did you see Violet's We Are So Reimagined in the Hanaoka trailer? No, I didn't. I missed it. Cough, cough. Arissa always being meta. Cough, cough. Yeah. I am really sick of the flavor of the month super damage mitigation tank. It is getting real fucking annoying. Getting real sick of it. This is a Shore SM7B or something like that. Although, if I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't recommend this mic to you. I would recommend my old mic to you, my Audio Technica BP40. That was way better. This one gives me so many problems, and it's so annoying. Like, some days people say I'm too quiet, some people say I'm too loud, people say it clips, some people say it doesn't clip at all. Like, this mic has caused so many different not haircut, I read chat, so many different issues between on who's watching versus not watching, and my old one never did that. Two shell in the 26 months, appreciate it. I think Chad's just gaslighting you. See, I think that too, but then it's like YouTube chat will say it randomly, or someone else will say it, and it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, but like the thing is, like, I've done a lot of these changes. What the fuck is it? I've done so many changes. Like, it's not, I actually lowered it. Like that day you guys said I was too loud, I was actually at 42, and then I brought it back down a little bit. And it's just like, dude, it's so annoying because I have all the stuff. I have every setting set up that I could possibly do. Sounds a little too amped, but that's the thing, is it's either too low. It's on condenser time? What do you mean? Because I'm on the boosted version. This is the boosted version. If I switch it over, it'll literally turn my mic off. It's because this is what happens when you use the cloud lifter. This is what the cloud lifter.
But this could be a quick regroup here for one-man army.
And they weren't able to punish either of the stragglers.
Like I read the actual,
now they're coming in. There's a lot less pressure on them. They should be able to take
like the manual for it. It was like if you use the cloud lifter, it's no longer considered dynamic.
Oh my, Soax needs to be very careful.
Because the thing in the back.
Skid's doing so much work in the back, forcing so many cooldowns.
Okay, I'll flip it over right now and just see what happens. Ready? Just make sure I don't forget. 40, okay? Remind me of 40.
Also, just a lot more knives landing for
Hello?
really opening things up.
Hello?
Half off the clock here for Sheer Cold. They got ultimates coming up across the board. It's looking a lot better for them. Understanding now why they picked Midtown.
Okay. This makes a lot of sense. They're definitely playing at like a different tempo, and also it feels like One Man Army. They want a death ball to the Mega Health Pack room. It feels like, but they're just really unable to do so. Just getting caught out, like you said, by Romani's knives. Well, they see Gracie flying past the Lucio, so now's their time to strike. There's no blade for the side of Sheer Cold, but the Rampage is going to land.
A lot of cues.
There's no sound barrier. This is a lot of cues. Sheer Cold throwing in 3 ultimates to win that fight.
It doesn't work.
Rampage, that sound barrier, and...
I told you it doesn't work. I hadn't clicked over yet. One more time, okay? Before, the reason you can hear me and the reason why you guys were like, it sounds higher, it sounds lower, it sounds the same, is because it was the fucking same. It just when I go... Okay, now can you hear me? Wait, now can... Okay. Now can you hear me?
Of an ultimate, right? It's not really going to win you team fights for the most part. Okay, what? He's dead. Never mind. Okay, so if they get a solid disengage here, that's really smart. So they potentially get another fight. Well, how much time we got? Is there a moment to be able to get back? 2 ticks done.
No, they're backing up. They're backing up. Yeah. Just taking high ground. They know their comp as well.
It's because it takes a second. It takes a second for it to kick over.
It makes a lot of sense. Them just backing up. They forfeit.
And then it just doesn't work because the cloud lifter in the back of the mic changes it from a dynamic to a condenser mic.
All good. Suzu. The headshot on the engagement.
It takes a second to flip over.
Kind of put a thorn in his side, and he couldn't actually just go in super deep.
You shouldn't need a cloud lifter because you have a built-in boost. That's what it is, though. The built-in boost is what I'm using.
That's a really bad fight as well, because at least if you lost the fight with the blade, you would hope that they'd use the sound barrier. But Streba,
I turn off.
Hands of Steel, holds onto that sound barrier, recognize that the Genji was just too low to be able to commit.
You'll
to
probably
it
notice instantly that I'm quieter,
they have the
right?
High ground, they still have the sound barrier, they have another window. All the ultimates for one man.
You can notice I'm probably a lot quieter now, right?
Killer with the overclock.
Now if I go over to this, give it a sec just to be sure. I'll give it a sec.
Sturball.
I think got hit by the knife, got pulled into the Junker Queen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like a really weird position to like wall ride. Alright, a lot of Qs though available for one-man army. The high ground is just really the point where Sheer Cold want to bunker down. Killer, okay, got Suzu. They really want to bunker down.
So now you should be able to hear me again, right? Even though I'm on the same setting, but I'm probably super quiet, right? So you can barely hear me.
They're pushing the high ground right now.
Right?
Good knife again. Skitzer is still pushing the payload though. Yeah, they have to send Myers to try.
But if I pump the game, it's gonna sound terrible.
Yeah, and look how many resources they have to give towards Muse to just help they keep them in the fight.
Okay.
The worst thing for a one-man army is that the ultimate advantage that they have is being essentially lost. They're gonna go in with the rush against the high noon. They're gonna find out.
They got Avo.
Yeah, see, you guys don't believe me half the time. So Rebecca, you don't believe me. I'm going back.
As Romani is having to rejoin the rest of his team on that payload, as you are right, Scott. Slowly but surely moving. Pulse bomb hits the payload. Killer dodges out the way. It's still got the slide and the overclock. One-man army appear from the sewers and gets sent straight back.
Now we're back to normal, right?
Killer with a fantastic shot there on the
I have gone through all of it. I have tried it all.
Scores it. Takes down Ollie with a minute and 30 seconds to go, Scott. One-man army looking very worse for wear.
Yeah, they used everything and the kitchen sink in that fight.
I've tried it all, chat. Is just how it behaves. It's just how it behaves.
It just feels like they didn't have the punching power, even though they did have.
I have that on, Grandma.
Sheer Cold just fall back and then slowly clean everyone up one by one. So with 1 minute remaining, it's unlikely that one-man army's going to get another ult cycle.
Yeah, like it's on right now. Like it's already there. So
this could be difficult.
Yeah.
Could be really tough. Yeah. All right, pushing up high ground. Third time's a charm. Romani super low. Shout already used. Suzu already used. They have to get off high ground. That's exactly where one-man army wanted to be. Their initial plan.
Taking chat recommendations for tech support requires levels of patience only if you possess.
Thanks for the 5, dude. I appreciate it. It happens at least like once a week, and it's like, guys, you don't understand. Like it's just the way it is. Like I'm not a amazing like super tech guru genius that knows everything. I'm really not. But I feel like I've done everything I can at this point. Unless I sit down with someone who's like legitimately an expert, it's probably gonna be a bad time.
Just too much damage. Avo hitting too many shots. And now that's gonna be
Faria is an expert. I was actually okay. I was in Faria's stream yesterday. Faria's stream yesterday was like being in girl talk. Like you know, you go for like coffee and you have girl talk. I have never felt more included in girl talk in my whole life.
just yeet the rampage, but then they're gonna have a sound barrier for you as well. So
But the volume feels a bit off. I'm literally back on the default. This is my normal setting, so that's not possible. Yeah, I got made an honorary girly, so I'm not one to brag, but they had a joking tag at the end. Oh, I must have missed it. My bad.
That's not good. One man army. Yeah, they're just gonna clean up.
I was actually gonna DM you about it. I was thinking about it because I normally don't know any of that kind of stuff. Because like anytime there's any like weirdos in the community, Crap always handles it. I actually didn't even realize till earlier that my Discord apparently has like 50,000 people in it. Now it's a ghost town. Not actually, but
especially with the window, the damage is going to come out. Like you just drop it in this situation.
Oh, I mean the window, the high noon. It might be good for some kills. Avio needs to find something because Ollie's already dead. Nothing. Everybody was hiding. Everybody was just escorted themselves behind some cover before. Well, they just took them out. That was a
hey, they're in full cap though, or not full cap. I mean,
helped Sheercold stay alive and not get insta deleted.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Then some 2 points and 88 meters for one man army. A little bit of a struggle there throughout all of those points.
Yeah, my barber I went to yesterday was just like, I'm gonna try something new on you, and I was like, okay, that's fine. So I just let him do whatever he wanted.
Use the sound barrier to help us close the distance on a one-man army, and once they get on top of them, you can see Avo's like just can't find a target to even shoot at with a high noon window directly in their face. So Sheercold playing.
For a second, I thought we were getting into discussing Faria's tier list. Oh no. Although those are cursed too.
These Junker Queen Lucio Kiriko compositions.
I always have the same one. I've been going to this place for like about a year. About a year. But I kind of just walk in, so like I just go to anyone at the same place. But I won't lie.
Half a year
I think this guy
fun.
claimed me.
Let's keep it going.
I think he's the owner. Thanks for 6 months, I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure he's the owner. Because I went in right before Christmas, and I did like my normal thing, like haircut, little small trimmy trim, and
I think if they
I had one guy do my haircut, and then he did like the beard trim, and so I tipped them both $50 because like it was right before Christmas, you know. They were super appreciative, and so I walked in yesterday, and first off, I thought I was gonna flip my truck because I like parked across the street in like the woods, because their parking lot's very small, and so my truck was sitting like this, but then I realized that it's a fucking TRX and that thing is not flipping. That thing is built for that. So I left it parked on the side of the road like this. It was great. And then when I climbed back in, I had to like open the door out and like push myself into it. But yeah, I walked in and the entire place was packed, and he just like walked by the entire room full of people and was like, are you here for someone? And I was like, just to walk in. He goes, come with me, my friend. And he just pulled me, and I was like, oh, this waiting room is packed. And I was like, oh, I waited like 30 seconds. And I was like, ah, shit, I think this guy remembered me. Just was like, no, you come with me now. And then he gave me his card at the end and was like, he's like, I know you like walk-in, but you can do it online. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I think I got claimed.
I mean, Soaks is definitely going to go down. Backswing. There we go. 2 ticks though for Sheercold. They just need another one of those picks. They just need to kill Ollie again. But Ollie switches to the Kiriko. If that knife lands, like you're good.
Yeah, and it's also the Suzu versus.
You tipped him $50 again? No, I tipped him 30.
Being able to cleanse the ultimate from Romani. I just think it's such a big issue that Muse.
That's kind of all I had in mind. Well, I also do cash,
that's just leaving skits are so
and that's all I had. But I mean, like $30 on like a $55 haircut is still pretty good, though. No.
There's the Terror Surge. Suzu's good. Stops that slow effect for a brief moment, so they're able to get out of there. There's the 2 rushes onto the point now. They're going to need to touch 92% and building. Romani with the rampage.
You know?
Does hit 2, but here comes
I mean, the 50 before is because it was the holidays, you know what I mean? And I had a really good month for streaming stuff like that. And I know how important tips are for you know, that industry. My mom's a hairstylist, so.
What a bloodbath on that last fight.
No, think of the 10 gifties. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, it was haircut, beard trim, and like they do like the whole fucking works. It takes like, it's like a whole process, you know. Oh, I can imagine how much yours costs. I can imagine. Yo, Emerald thing with the 7 months as well. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nelly. Chav, you get 7 issues. Thank you.
Avio's already down. Nice headshot as the Amatic just walks into the railgun. There we go. That's what you want to see. And like you said, Scott, you just pull both DPS ults. Like, that's it, really. No resources, and one-man army did recognize that. Tried to just int in onto the backline. Couldn't find the success.
Yeah, inting in, it seems a little weird in that situation because they have the overclock and blade. You're like, what? There's no way you're going to win if they pull both those ultimates. But sort of the haircut
alone, Chad, is like 30.
Catch the opposition off guard.
It's the haircut plus the
hits a huge javelin,
beard cut / treatment. Like they cut the whole thing. They
so sometimes doing something unexpected,
razor. You know what I mean? Like you do like the straight edge razor, line it all up. It takes time. It's not like they just go buzz. Okay, see you later. You know, hot towel. Yeah, hot towel.
Sound barrier and that rush available. For sheer cold, about 10%.
The worst is when they put the fucking warm shaving cream and like the first it's warm and then by the time they get to the end it's cold and you're like, oh,
kill it down.
Jesus.
It's really not that expensive. It's like a local place. It's like a mom. It's like a I would say mom and pop shop, but I think it's literally just the one guy owns it.
Looks like they will get out.
They got to know that sheer cold over rush here.
You know?
And that far up, yeah, they end up backing up a little bit here. They want to ideally force the rush early, so they got enough space to actually disengage on the ultimate as well. But it doesn't like sheer cold are going to give it to him.
Oh, that was a good boot down.
Barrier. Avio, whoop, flying Cassidy. Can't find any heads though. Those skulls not quite lit up just yet. Both sound barriers used. Same with that pulse bomb and the high noon. Ooh. Oh, Theomatic super low. Still has the Terror Surge if he wants to use it. Being kept alive, but not for long. That DPS passive really kicking into effect there as Sheercold just bundle on top of him. But
one is from off me. I'm a girl. It's $25. There's something confused by it, but they got good techniques. So.
And this is going to be really big.
I mean,
because they're still in a good position to be able to punish this. Now let's have
I never understood girl haircuts. They're always like my mom has told me. My own's a hairstylist at like a really nice place, and like. Foil, blow dry, color, like you're talking like hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Teleport to the high ground, not to the person behind it. Easy kill for Theomatic. 1 minute and 30 seconds to end, Scott. We are swiftly running out of time.
And you're seeing the issue that I talked about coming into this offensive round. It's really hard for Sheer Cold to be able to just close the distance without taking so much damage.
That's why basically boy haircut in the woman. Oh yeah, I never even thought about that.
Romani's just going to fall over. Now once again relying here on the overclock and the blade, we're going to see a pull.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Oh man, that was so close. Theomatic almost goes down to a railgun there. Hits the fortify to stay alive. Oh, hello, Skitzer.
Not you to be fun.
Super low. Has to end up backing off. Has to reposition down to the
I don't.
Got the overclock and the high ground angle if he wants
I do not envy you there.
Ends up dodging out of the way, but already Soaks is dead. It's a 4v5. Where does Sheercold go from here?
I fix my own hair, and it looks like I do, but I like it. Hey, well, whatever you're comfy with, just do it. I've always been the same way. Like I was a supercuts, great clips guy for many years. And the only reason I didn't go, okay, you wanna know the reason I changed? I'll tell you the reason why I converted. Yo, Alex, thanks for the membership. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks so much, dude. Nerf Mercy. Mercy's terrible right now. I went to a Sport Clubs is fire. Okay, you know, you're on some good shit. I used to go to a Sports Clubs when I was in college. There was one next to my school. It was fucking the best, but I'm not driving all the way to Rhode Island for a fucking haircut. But I went to like a Great Clips or whatever the fuck. It was like, you know, Great Clips. What are the Great Clips Supercuts? It wasn't Supercuts. It was like one of the value places, right? And I went, and there's not a person in the store. It was completely empty. Not a person sitting in a chair. Nothing. And they were like, "Oh, you have to like sign up at the thing." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And it was an hour and 20-minute long wait time. And I was sitting there, and I was like. Dude, there's nobody here. How is this an hour and 20-minute long wait time? So I signed up, I went outside, I sat in my truck for like 5 minutes, not a person walked in the store. And I just said, nah, not dealing with that. And so I looked at my phone to what was open near me, and that was how I went. I saw this barbershop was open. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll go there. I went, and it was a good haircut, and it was like comparable price, so I just started going there more often. But yeah, I was the same way for a long time.
Their spawn positions are so close. 3 meters to go. There's the shout. A lot of healthy members from Sheer Cold as they finally make it work.
Oh my, that was by the skin of their teeth. They're able to hold on to that one, just slowly whittling away the one-man army. You can see Romani, if the fight breaks down, the Junker Queen is incredibly strong. Can
I done any aftermarket things? No, I haven't. I live in Massachusetts. It's super serious here. You can't do shit for aftermarket. I think the only thing I could do is maybe like lights if I wanted to, but you can't even use them anywhere. Like if you use them anywhere that's not like in the woods, you're gonna get a huge fine.
Like he wanted to go up on the high ground there using the lift, but they took it without it.
Stay down here anyway, guys.
I mean, I do tell Chad every once in a while that my truck is an absolute dude magnet. It's so fucking funny. You know, like people like talk about cars, they're like, oh yeah, this is like a Lamborghini, yeah, it's a chick magnet. Yeah, mine's a dude magnet. I swear to fuck. Like every dude I ever see just stares at me. Stares like uncomfortably long. And the worst is when, okay, alright, I don't know how to describe this to you, but sometimes people just like want to keep pace with you, you know, and just like sit next to you the entire time. And I had a guy yesterday, okay, when I went to go get my haircut, I won't lie, I wasn't going very fast, but it was like slightly like not wet out, like it had rained before, so everyone's driving like 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. So like I'm not cutting people off, but I will change lanes to go around people. And for like 4 miles straight, I had this like GMC pickup that just mimicked anything I did. Like if I change lane, change with me. Change lane, change with me. And I'm not joking. This guy hardcore cut off some dude to stay right behind me the entire time. And then right when I was going to take my right to leave, he sped up next to me, and I happened to look over, and the guy was just like looking at me, and he like gave me a little wave, and I was like, oh, this is so cringe. And I was like, okay, dude, like, I'm out of here. Wait, they didn't touch? If Emon was here, he'd be laughing so hard.
That was so close. Hold on to that point. Muse just got the blade.
That's creepy. It's not really that creepy. I mean, it's just more of like I don't know. You'll
call that a C9.
Did he recognize you? No. I hope to God no. Super was right. Honest tank play is dead. Rest of every match in every rank. I haven't heard what Super said about tank, but yeah, I mean that's not wrong. But yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, you'll understand. Even yesterday, I was getting gas. The guy next to me, I just keeps sneaking like peeks, you know. Guy next to me, like on the other side, is getting gas, and then I look over to my right, and he's like peeking around the corner, like taking a look. And then like he looks at me and then like immediately goes back, and then like a minute later I look back again and he's like peeking around the corner. I was like, dude, stop. If you want to take a look, you can. Like you don't have to like pretend you're not looking, dude. Fuck, man.
Romani at the very end, that was kind of the focus of the Orisa, and then just like they weren't.
It's okay though.
Calling one person.
I don't mind.
Like next, it was like Romani, you know, gotta kill the Orisa.
I don't mind.
Gotta kill the Queen, because like you said, as the fight does end up breaking down, the Queen just gets so much more value. If you can get a lot of those shots out,
and they hit so weird.
Just a lot of hits with the.
Yeah, I hate to say it to you, Grandma, you ain't beating me. I'm just saying. What's up, Guru? You ain't beating me.
It is one-man army taking that.
You ain't beating me.
We go to Esperanza.
There's not many cars that are beating it.
In the series potentially, if one-man army can close this out in the same fashion they did against this team, against Sheer Cold in the Swiss stage, this could be history repeating itself.
Oh man.
And that's one of the difficulties of playing the Junker Queen, is that you're kind of beholden to hitting Jagged Blades, because Jagged Blades are really your engagement tool of like how you isolate targets. And
I haven't even put it in sport mode ever.
So that's kind of why.
I mean, it has like track mode, sport mode, off-road. There's like a couple other modes, but I like never, you know.
Force a scrappy fight.
Do you see any Cybertrucks? No, I live in New England, dudes. EVs here are not very good. If it's cold, you're fucked.
Being on this Genji, it just feels like they're so dependent on their ultimates to be able to win fights.
How does Esperanza already
like even like sports cars, like supercars or anything like that, you never see supercars here. Like I think I saw a Corvette yesterday. That was it, and that was like the first time I've seen a Corvette in a long time. I think the last time I saw a Lamborghini was like last summer.
Can you explain to me why my dad hates electric cars?
Sure, because electric cars are. Okay, maybe 2 months. Appreciate it. But basically, electric cars got hard forced by the government, and I honestly, kind of rightfully so. I think a lot of people don't trust it because anytime you inject a large amount of money into something and trying to hardcore force it through, people will cut corners and try to do whatever they can to make it work because they're getting a kickback to doing that. So like one, we don't really have the infrastructure for it yet. Yeah, Overwatch League mod check. Yeah, honestly, good example. And it's like they're trying to force it, and I honestly do think it's the way. Like you have like at some point we do have to get off gas because like we're gonna all die. But I think Toyota got it right. Yeah, Toyota got it right and said hybrids is the way, and then all the other car companies are like, oh, like how dare you say that? We need to go EV, and Toyota's like, nah, like we need hybrids. Like we can't just hard force it. And that's why you're seeing a lot of electric EV companies are starting to fail now because they're not getting the same government kickbacks. And what happens when you do that is you can actually look at China. China is a great example where China also hard forced EVs, and a lot of companies got created to make EVs, and then they just pumped out tons of cars, and now they just sit in a parking lot dead because they can't sell them because they're not like safe, they're not legal. So they just made millions and billions of dollars off of government kickbacks, but the cars are sitting there rotting because they're not up to code. You can't drive those. Like they're a hazard, they're a danger. So even beyond that, even if a car's not a danger and they can get it out on the road, it doesn't mean that they're going to actually be the advertised mileage. So let's say it advertises for 300 miles, but that's 300 miles in perfect conditions where it's like warm, no bumps, no stop and go, like traffic, like whatever it might be, right? But in reality, if it's cold, if you know they drive a little bit faster or they accelerate faster and then you know coast, right? Like they're not slowly accelerating up and not being absolutely perfect, they're not going to get that mileage. So then you go beyond that and it's like, well, you're not getting the mileage that you thought you were going to be getting, so you need to charge more. And it's like, well, where do you charge? Well, if you live somewhere that doesn't have superchargers or have a lot of infrastructure for it, you're going to be not in a great spot. And then even beyond that, what happens if you live in an apartment? What happens if you live somewhere that doesn't have a charger, right? It's like, well, now you're going to drive somewhere and sit there for 30 minutes to charge your car. People don't want to do that. So you know, like I'll give you an example. My apartment complex doesn't have chargers. There's some guy that has a Tesla in my, you know, parking lot. Thing doesn't move. I think I've seen it move like once every 3 weeks. Guy must be like me and like works from home and doesn't really do much. But it's not like the guy drives it, you know.
God, the amount of times we get that is no joke. No joke.
So personally, I think I like AVs. I think they're cool, but I don't think I'd own one for a very long time. Not gonna lie, the car not legal thing is probably made up propaganda. By who? You think it's American propaganda for the Chinese cars aren't worth it? I mean, like you can. There's photos, there's evidence that they exist. Like the car parks are just sitting there with tens of thousands of cars, and they're all EVs.
But it was actually just Romani running
and like
dry with the.
Also, on top of that, it doesn't even actually save that much.
Maybe try to make some more ultimates
pollution.
Maybe a miscommunication, but
there's way bigger things than pollution, like cargo ships. Do you know how much cargo ships pollute the fucking environment? Cargo ship, like one cargo ship making one trip would produce more carbon into the atmosphere than everybody in this entire chat driving every day. Hell, all of us heating our homes, driving our cars, going on flights for our entire lives. one trans-Pacific or transatlantic trip would create more than this entire chat of people combined for their entire life. Let that sink in.
Sheercold still scrapping this one out, but I mean the Genji versus this is not going to work out too well. But thankfully, Romani's there for backup. Sheercold controlling the bot again.
Yeah, so they are going to end up closing out that fight. It felt like Avo was about to get a bunch of different picks, but wasn't able to find all of them.
We're fucked. We're fucked. We're so fucked.
And that's a great late pick on the Skitzer.
We're actually fucking screwed. But it's depressing to think about that every day, you know? So I just think about losing games on tank. And honestly, that might be just as depressing, but anyways.
Oh, but Romani just going way too deep. Okay, they do end up securing the lead there, but they get basically nothing off of that in terms of meterage. There was no like checkpoint pressure there at all. Wow, Romani overstepping.
Yeah, that's just a big overstep by Romani. I think with the rush down, Romani's like, oh, I want to get some value out of this ultimate. Just turns the corner and just wasn't expecting the amount of damage.
Lesson of the day, we're fucked. Yeah, we're fucked.
And now Ollie has the rush.
But I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We're just along for the ride.
Get into, because as soon as he steps up, he's going to be walking into the rush. So it's going to have to be killed with the overclock to open this one up. Pulsebomb does a lot of damage, but no picks.
Oh, good spear onto Killer. Stopping him getting from the perfect angle with his overclock. No one's in his sights right now until he hits that slide. That was so close to just annihilating the Tracer. Checkpoint.
No value.
We can re-queue again. That's what we can do.
Like
True.
Like
True.
Okay.
Just queue up again. Everything will be fine. Isn't that SK's motto?
Yeah.
Just keep queuing. Everything will be fine.
It cost them the overclock.
Right, yeah.
So it's even more disadvantageous than you'd think. So it's just going to be like, well, we need to get the high ground. But a one-man army recognizes it, splits up. Oh, wow. Even more aggressive.
Good damage. They're going to try and salvage this one, though, with a rush. But yeah, Ollie in this small room. Not exactly where you want to be against the JQ comp. But still, checkpoint. You are taking those to the bank. Sheercold not using an ultimate in this fight, at least.
No, I respect him for sticking with the Queen comps, but man, running Queen into Orisa is tough.
Yeah, it looks like Skitzer is probably going to die. Skitzer's, I think, probably just trying to waste as much time as they can. If they are able to live through this as well,
they have to make a decision.
Am I gonna do another R6 spin? I don't know.
Map control at all.
I wish I could have been a little bit more involved on that one. I'm a little bit sad because I wanted it to be more like gameplay. Wanted it to be like, but at the same time, we've had so much stuff happening the last week. I already talked to Retro about it. Maybe someday, but
they just like it felt like they just got out rotated, but then they just kept going.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist with it, variety at the moment. So
keep your foot on the gas.
I'm probably gonna try something else first because there's other things I want to make. But honestly, I've found more enjoyment out of trying to make quality variety content than just the endless Overwatch farm. Not saying I'm not going to stop playing Overwatch, not I'm saying like, because like I enjoy it in swings. Like season 10 will probably be really fun for a couple weeks, but then after that first couple weeks it's like, oof, you know, I'd just rather chew on some glass.
Yeah, I think they didn't want to go into those stairs, but Skitzer wanted to just give it a peekaroo, loses his head for it. Now the rush comes in over the point. I think if you're one-man army, you just let this one go.
Lose this one, yeah. Yeah, you just get out of
there. Clickbait, it's time to quit when? I actually think that the Overwatch team is legitimately making a recovery, and it's going to take a long time.
Use the fight, but that's a rush off the other side. And this feels like one of those situations.
That being said, though, we're a seasonal model game now, so at some point every season the game's gonna get stale and boring because the next season's on the way. So what you do in those couple weeks is up to you.
But now it's Sheercold, the team with
it could be last 2 weeks, it could be last week, it could be last month. You never know.
Like Romani doesn't do anything. Like there is who can shoot down and still do a fair amount of damage, lob spears, etc. But Romani needs to be like boots on.
How do you feel about the state of R6? I do not think I'm qualified to speak on such endeavors.
Theomatic, now in a little bit of trouble. Gracie did land. Look at the amount of healing getting pumped into Romani right now. I wouldn't be too surprised, Scott. Just a smaller size.
We did some Helldivers. I played Helldivers one day with Seagull. No, sorry, not Seagull. Shade, Ruben, and Somnus.
As soon as he takes his eyes off Romani, it feels like he dies. Just keeping an eye in for the Suzus as well. That will be
you literally have to babysit your tank. You don't babysit your tank, you're just dead.
All of a sudden, one-man army with that one pick on Avo is in a bad
I think someone knocked on my window. I'm on the 3rd floor. I think that might have been a bird. A bird might have just ran into your window.
Be careful though. comes the Blade. Oh, Blade.
Either that or they want to give you an update and ask you about your extended warranty on your car.
Okie dokie, sheer cold. That's a Blade I didn't think I'd see in this series, to be honest with you. Very, very hard to get value with it normally, but they're making it work, and they take the lead. 69 meters and then some.
Also, Smite. I don't think I've literally ever even played Smite.
Strebel just wasn't able to get the sound barrier down before he fell over, so great target acquisition by Muse. And Sheer Cold, they have the rush as well. This is a hard fight for one-man army to fight into. So now they're just going to be poking.
Hey, Sheer Cold making a bit of a comeback though.
They wait, they're losing meter.
Hasn't Romani had ult for like a long time?
Oh, that was close to an AJ. One body shots.
Close to an AJ. Man, I like that. That's a good term.
We didn't hit anything. Maybe Suzu.
Well, yeah, Romani's really good. Like the Junker Queen player.
Having a good time right now against this Queen Cop. And Romani just piling on the pressure. Arissa in the small room. There's the Terror Surge. Trebor does end up going down to Romani, but a kill onto Killer. It's going to leave Theomatic alone and isolated on an island. Sheer Cold running away with this one in the final few moments. 50 seconds to go. One-man army needs to see a change up here. Needs to see a turnaround.
Yeah, and it feels like this is going to
be. You guys are getting ads. Dude, I don't think I have ads turned up. I think my ads are still on variety ads right now. You guys have been eating good today.
Oh, what a knife again. Romani just landing knife after knife.
Oh, that's gonna change in 2 days. Oh yeah, for sure. If there's drops at the beginning of the new season, yeah, good luck to you.
One-man army just losing control of
I'm getting constant ads. Are you trying to skip them by leaving and coming back? Because like Twitch isn't stupid. Corvusing this 7 months. I'm pretty sure my ads are turned down right now.
But Romani's gonna make it out, so now they can take the fight on their own terms with the Kitsune Rush into Kitsune Rush. But look, they're happy to play on the high ground. Yeah, you want to keep pushing the bot, you're gonna have to walk into a bad spot.
I'll literally check after this.
Still taking infinite damage. There's a spear, there's Suzu to save. Okay, they use rush. Fine by us, we back off.
Just don't get ads, Smile.
Yeah, and that's it. Now they can just come back with their own rush. They have a sound barrier as well. Muse getting close to another beat. This is very difficult for one-man army.
You want ads at 09? I just left Twitch. Well, I mean, I have 2 streams going for a reason. Just so you don't like get completely screwed. You know, like you're missing something that you don't want to miss, just switch over to the YouTube stream, you know? But at the same time, though, ads are the majority of my revenue at this point from Twitch. Most of the time.
Yeah, it really feels like you saw things.
Yeah, dude. What do you mean you guys tell me we're getting ads every fucking minute? No, you're not. You know what? I'm gonna turn it back up to normal Overwatch amount. How about that?
See how many times did Avo? You talked about Avo getting punished.
We weren't even on normal Overwatch ads. You're on variety ads. You're getting fucking nothing.
With his peaks or with his swings, he gets hit by that.
Nothing.
There is nothing the rest of his team can do to help him. So. We have a match on our hands. Sheer Cold. Now we move.
You're getting one ad break every 30 minutes.
Very strong Junker Queen map.
You're getting one ad break every 30 minutes.
Junker Queen game type as well. Let's have a little listen in.
That is nothing.
The gang there at the very end of that map.
Ruthless Sag. Hey man, listen. The day will come someday. Someday I'm gonna fall off. You know, whether I don't want to do Overwatch anymore, whether it's I transition into something else and then no longer enjoy it. The day is gonna happen someday. Gotta make the bread now. You know, you never know.
Nice.
You never know.
Huge. I love that.
Good stuff. Sheer Cold, they're still in it. Reverse sweep starts now, Scott. I mean, yes, reverse is definitely better.
Alright, I'm gonna run the bathroom really quick. Chat, we'll be right back. Here, have an ad in the meantime.
It's really cool to see. We haven't seen Junker Queen in a little while. I still get flashbacks of the JQ meta last year. Oh my word.
Good old Jotes. Yeah, you don't miss Jotes?
Yeah, was that in 2022? That wasn't 2023.
It's all a blur at this point.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really miss Jotes at all, but seeing it like this, yeah, I'm a big fan. Romani, yeah, doing Romani things, playing the JQ to an extremely high level. Oh, that was a nice dash there, just on the very edge. Perfect Genji play. From you.
It's one of those things, you know. It's like you heard Romani talk about at the end there, like huge. It's like Junker Queen ults are very difficult to land in this setup.
Yeah.
There's a lot of targets that you can't really hit. There's sound barriers, there's Suzus, people can cleanse it all themselves a little bit as well, you know, with recalls and everything else. So it can be very difficult to find the value from the ultimates. If anything, if you can just force out ultimates with the Junk Queen ult, that's almost a win at this point. But you can see, just as I said, when the fights break down, that's when Junk Queen's at our best.
Leaving chat, enjoy your ads with occasional Overwatch breaks. Oh no, you're missing out on the highlights and recap when I went to the bathroom. That's tough, man.
Resources, the Rampage is almost a guaranteed team wipe. If you start off the fight with a Rampage, they can Suzu, they can beat, they can respond to it. But because Romani ended up using it fairly late into that fight, like, they haven't got anything. Like, he got the Kiri, and the Kiri didn't Suzu, because they already used the Suzu, and it's just the easiest setup in history, right? And that's where Sheer Cold are at their best, and where Romani's at his best as well.
I think the thing that you can take away from this stat screen is look at the low healing from a one-man army.
And then the high healing from Sheer Cold.
That's it. Well, it's one of those things where a one-man army, the reason they're dying is not just because of the damage that Sheer Cold's pulling out, it's just picks, right? Sheer Cold is dependent on pick rather than just the overwhelming amount of damage. So if you're a one-man army, the one thing you need to take away from that map is we need to play safer, we need to play together. If they want to
also, my mom's back finally, chat, so clothes are saved.
Team fighting and working together using the ultimates. If we just
finally, thank God.
One by one, that's what they want.
We'll see if they can make it happen here in Surabasa. Was the pick of Sheer Cold as well, and Shimbali Monastery will round out the series if we get there.
I thought this was a politics/climate science stream with an Overwatch thing happening in the background. No, we never really talk about that. Someone brought up EVs, and that's how we went down that route. Normally, we stay very far away from it.
With how many chokes there are, I think it'd be hard to play Queen, but hey, where there's a will, there's a way. Romani will find a way. But first they have to get through Surabasa, and I think this is a map that could go either way. As I said, it really comes down to
isn't your name Cat?
Like the tempo
so wouldn't you be a cat?
In terms of like confidence in their compositions. Will we see any adjustments for a one-man army, or are we going to just see the same thing time and time again, just playing better?
So look, no substitutions either, as we load into Surabasa in just a moment. Yeah, more Orisa, I would imagine. And we saw a little bit at the back.
Nice try. We know birds aren't real.
Especially on this map, I'm thinking Kiri. Plus, you have two things to deal with. Like, Suzu's just way better at dealing with the Rampage than the Lamp is. So,
yeah,
expect one-man army to run that.
That would feel gross.
Changes. Now,
there is. There's your boy.
Legend. Give us one.
Give us a yawn.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Hell yeah.
Wait, what?
And my job here is done.
Hello. Oh.
Perfect.
That's so good.
All right, well, man, Army, what you got for us? We know what Sheer Cold are running. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I like. I do like how we. It reminds me of like oh yeah in some ways, right? With Chasm on the ball, and like there's always these teams that have these really.
Birds are government drones, and the sky doesn't exist. The Earth is flat, and Flaps owns Microsoft. You know what's actually really funny? I got this random TikTok on my feed. Of this guy trying to claim or like prove that Earth is flat by looking at a flight from like New York to I forget, but it's somewhere in like the Middle East / like Asia region. I think it was like a Kazakhstan type of area. He was talking about how, you know, the Earth is flat because why would you go up to Iceland to fly there, and how that makes no sense or whatever the fuck. But basically, like, he tried to put like a line, like a piece of string around the globe, like he had a little globe and like showed it. And he was like, see, like, you know, why would you go up if this is the straight line? And then someone stitches it with them showing a globe from above and shows how it's shorter. It was like, dude, you were so close. Like, if you just put the string and measured it, if you just measured the string from the angle you showed versus the angle from above, you would know that it's shorter. Like, you were so close. It was so funny. It was such a good one.
This DPS player. There we go. Yeah, a quick reset. What's very good? This comp is also very good at doing stuff like this as well. Chasing people down.
Mini Minuteman? I don't remember the name, if I'm completely honest.
Even more time.
Yeah, that's what's 60% and counting. Probably one more fight. Yeah, for one-man army, but because that fight
all mercy means are fastest. That's certainly a YouTube comment if I've ever done read one. What in the actual fuck?
Get in the face of a one-man army, they might be able to catch them off guard before they can even get to the
some of you guys over there need some help.
A little look
anyways,
how they want to challenge this one.
Anyways, what was I saying before? I forget.
Coming for that crown. That JQ needs to go down first. Can be pressured out with that rush, like you were saying. Pretty easy point to rush off.
Hey, Sheer Cold's actually looking pretty good with the Queen comp. Are they all just shooting the Orisa now? Have they just gotten sick of the Orisa and just start shooting her? Yeah, they kind of are. Everyone's just like, yeah, just shoot the fucking Orisa. We were talking about EVs and ads. I wasn't talking about EVs. Oh, EVs, like the cars. You spelled it like the Pokemon. I've gotten real confused. Yeah, that's fine. We're past that now.
Where are we going? Just waiting for these crosses. If you can catch someone on the cross here, this is just like an awkward spot as well for this point to be in.
It's the fuck the Orisa meta? What do you mean? Overwatch 2 is fuck the tank meta. That is literally how it goes.
Right there, and you're like, oh god.
Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. They can shoot us with impunity. We're good. All right, rush available. They got the rush advantage.
What's your thoughts on Vaporeon? I think you need help.
Here comes this overclock onto the from the high ground from Killer.
My mind is mush. Too much college work in too little time. It's okay. That won't change. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, post-college life was so much better. Maybe because I just didn't do enough in college, like, I don't know, going out and doing stupid shit, but a lot of people always said, like, oh, these after college, like, you know, you can't do anything fun, it gets really boring, and it's like, dude, honestly, it's way better. I think college is only fun if your parents are not broke and you're broke. Like, if you have money, like if you have disposable income, college is a blast. But if you have no disposable income, college is not fun.
Roll on the point right now. The 3v3 rush comes out from Natlox for Sheer Cold. They can just play around this one. Should lead to the flip. I think if you're one-man army, you just accept that this fight is over.
College is still fun even without money.
Come back in with your own
maybe it depends on where you kind of go. Because I guess some places probably is better than others, but I mean, on the whole, like there's a difference between like friends having pizza money or beer money and having literally zero.
Heard the Rampage voice line hit you. Like, always. They didn't even wait for the anti-hero to come through.
Disposable income is such a weird wording. Why would you dispose of your income?
So quickly with that ultimate.
Well, I mean, you're spending it, right? So like that is disposing it. Like disposable means like you know, you can kind of lose it and be okay. So you spend it on stupid shit.
The cascading effect of using an ultimate potentially mistimed can have a long-term effect, but that was a lot of ultimates for a one-man army. What?
In a working college? I mean, I worked in college too, but I did a few different things. And then, but I was also doing sports too. Like my freshman, sophomore year was like football. Then beyond that, it was like siege, plowing, and then also my junior and senior year, I commuted. Like I commuted from home my junior year, and then I got an apartment my senior year. So.
Why is Skitzer just waiting below the Sojourn for the
plowing? Yeah, like snowplow.
Any moment now. Any moment.
No, not fields. I live in New England. I mean, like snow. I mean, I guess when we actually used to get snow here, because I think we had one snowstorm this entire winter. And it like was small.
Just one more pick. There you go. All right, Skitzer does fall, but.
Oh, Blade again.
Wow, they're going for the blade play? Holy shit. Oh! Holy shit, they just cooked.
3 kills as a re-entry into that fight is looking way better for them. One-man army thought they had them on the ropes.
Yeah, Muse recognizing, hey, they're a little split up. They've used a lot of their cooldowns. He kind of beefed it a little bit at the very beginning, losing control of Avo, but it did a good job of restabilizing and taking down 3 eventually.
Do you reckon there'll be a more varied meta next patch? Well, I mean, how would I know that? Like, it would depend on like what the patch is, you know, and it would all depend on is Venture going to be really strong or really weak, or is Venture even going to get played? You know what I mean? Like. If I made a complete guess, it'd be hard to say. Unless it was like a Giga Rush meta, I would assume still like Sojourn and Tracer would still be the best. Unless Tracer or Sojourn got nerfed, you know?
Yeah, and they used the rush there, thinking that they were in prime position, just dropped the rush and then instantly lost a couple of members. So they're not going to have that one getting back into this fight. Fortunately, Soax does still have the sound barrier, and it's Romani. Romani with this rampage.
Venture will be OP in pro play and pretty bad in ranked. I don't see that.
Dude, Skitch is finding so many early picks on the Tracer.
Can you explain how DMCA works? I literally panic when friends play something in the background. I mean, are you streaming? Because if you're not streaming, then it doesn't matter. It matters in streaming because, like, technically, you streaming and stuff like that, like, you're technically supposed to have a license for that music being on your stream, because your stream is technically a business, right? Like, even if you're a sole proprietor, 1099. Like the way music works in like stadiums or stuff like that is like they pay rights to play that music. Like when you use Spotify, you are paying Spotify for the right to stream music to yourself, right? And like, yeah, if you stream it to your friends at your house through a speaker, like the government's not going to come knocking. But if you're using that music in a way of making money for your business, like technically you're supposed to be paying a licensing fee for that. Now it can get into a gray area if you're talking about like a mom and pop shop playing music, you know, in the background of the store, you know. Even then, technically, legally, I'm pretty sure you would still need a license. So the thing that happens with streaming is, you know, if it's in a video or something like that, you're making money technically off of some content or something that's made and their music's included, they should be getting a cut. So DMCA is basically copyright law. But it's also very archaic, and it isn't very updated. So, yeah. I know some streamers constantly play music, but are very cautious. Well, that's because the reason they do that is they have their audio tracks split so that it doesn't include in the VOD. So live you'll hear music, but if you go into the VOD, you won't hear anything. It won't be there. So Twitch. Twitch is pretty lucky in that aspect where people have not really started doing live DMCAs yet, but it can happen. XQC is a great example. XQC was watching the Olympics a couple years ago and got live DMCA'd by the Olympics for watching the Olympics. So it just like basically it's if the copyright holder files a claim against you, and you can, it depends on so many things, right? Like if they never file a claim against you, technically no harm, no foul. But if they do file a claim against you, Twitch is going to take that shit down immediately, because like that's, they don't play a part. They're like, nope, that's, you're claiming to be the copyright holder, we're taking that shit down. We don't want anything to do with it. And then technically, if you really want to go deep with it, it can go all the way up to going to court, because that is a legal issue. And that's why YouTube or Twitch a lot of times will just mute it or take down the content or ask you to take it down. And if you feel like you rightfully were using that piece of content and you weren't violating any laws, and the other party does not feel that way, you have to go to court. Smaller streamers would likely get away with DMCA music. I mean, yeah, like,
no way. Okay.
It's very different, you know, like a small streamer who makes, you know, let's say $100 a month on a good month, you know what I mean? Like they just barely make enough for the Twitch payout.
Yeah, I think
their VODs are gonna get muted, and the worst that could happen is the copyright strike system. Like they might get 3 strikes and they're out, you know?
So they will turn around. Otherwise,
how long would you be streaming for BC? I'm work right now at a prison and all I do is watch prison, which is basic, just do nothing. BC 90%, they do nothing anyways.
You remind me, there's a guy who actually plays Overwatch. He's like a GM support player. He's a prison guard, and every time I bump into him, he's got some stories or something. That's funny. There's actually one time where he was getting calls like in the prison. He's like, nah, someone else will answer that. You know, it was so funny. I'll probably be streaming for a while. I don't know how long I'll stream Overwatch though. This might be after this series is over. I might swap to Variety.
Late, because that's once again going to mean that Sheercold are going to have to
Hi, Mr. Flats. I'm so sad I'll be canceling my Twitch subs because I got engaged and be budgeting for a wedding next year. So I'll be able to continue support. Yeah, I hope you don't like disappear because of that. A lot of people, if they're subbed for a long time and they have to unsub for whatever reason, they like don't want to talk anymore because they're ashamed. I hope that doesn't happen because I'm not going to think less of you or anything. If anything, I get more sad when that happens. So first off, congrats. And second, I can't tell you how many people that have been long-time subs here that I never see anymore. And most of the time it's because they had to unsub, and then they just don't feel comfortable talking anymore. And it gets really sad. So, congrats though. I actually have a sponsor that I had to record a video for last night, and it was talking about budgeting. It was an interesting one.
And that will be the second point for them. We're on a map point now as we go on to the final checkpoints.
Oh yeah, I played Pokemon Coliseum. I think my playthrough is actually on Warplex of Pokemon Coliseum.
Just a hero's downfall at the hands of the
dude, this is a battle of a game. Sheercole is fighting to stay alive.
The Kiriko did not get the sound barrier and decided to.
They don't have any ults though, so.
But just got punished for a great play by a one-man army, recognizing.
Yeah, I think the whole playthrough's in there.
And most.
What are your thoughts on AI art, things like music, voice acting, art? I think I think we're fucked, genuinely. The only good thing about AI is it's really stupid and smart at the same time, where it needs people to function, because if you try to train an AI off itself, it has this really weird tendency to try to make everything look like Jesus. You ever seen those Twitter photos where like it's clearly AI? Like I saw the craziest one last week where if you shut one eye and squinted with the other, it was Jesus, and I was like, I literally got jump scared. I was like, oh fuck! Like, like it was like three friends like standing around like around a table, but it was all fucked. Like it didn't look right, and I was like, oh, that's just shitty. You know, and then you squint with one eye, and you're like, oh my god, Jesus, jump scare. Like, yeah, but AI is fucking spooky.
That Suzu sometimes very hard to land on multiple people. Good knife.
Truly, I don't think it'll ever like take over. I don't think the government will allow it, because like that. Imagine if like 60% of your population just all of a sudden can't have a job anymore. That's how civil wars happen, and I don't think the U.S. would want that. So,
Skitzer is going to be the person in the backline running around, but do they know where Skitzer is? They're getting slightly aggressive to try and punish anyone.
At that point, then you can start talking like universal income, and that's a fucking slippery slope that I do not want to go into today.
Okay, Skitzer gets touch here.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, he gets a stick too.
Big stick, but they Suzu'd it.
99% to 0.
They get a big kill on the Doom. Is this gonna go to a map 5? Oh, uh-oh. Actually, wait a minute. Oh. Wow. That's really bad, actually, for sure, Cold. Wait, they pop Blade too? Oh, wait, this fight's over. You guys are... Oh, they just burned a lot of ults.
Oh, my word. Skitzer with the whole army on his back.
Holy shit.
Clutch out that
That's
point.
terrifying.
They're still in one fight territory, though, with Sheer Kohler at 99%.
But Sheer Cole went into all
they used all their ults, though.
They used every single ultimate to try and turn that fight around.
Do you like Apex? Yeah, Apex is cool. Although I haven't really played seriously in a long time, so I did an Apex Twitch Rivals tournament like 2 weeks ago, and I got absolutely shit stomped. Honestly, I got shit on so badly, I don't think I want to play Apex anymore. But someday I'll probably go back and play it again. But man, that one hurt. That one hurt a little bit.
God, he's such a mess.
Ooh, big kill.
But no health left for Skitzer. He's down. Carry dead.
It's tough.
Killer ends up falling over.
Dude, they're gonna die. They're gonna die right now, though. No, they're staggering him. They're staggering him. Dude, they're gonna lose. Dude, they blew all their ults in that fight before, and they're not gonna be able to come back.
This one out, and who touches? I don't think anybody does. This is gonna lock this one out. Maybe Muse gets there, but
wow.
the recall. They got nothing left.
Damn. They really fucked up that 99 fight with the double ults and not getting anybody. Like they bladed so late.
A one-man army. The credit needs to go to the backline there.
That's tough, though. I mean, the other team's Tracer kind of popped off too. So.
Got brought back. They came back and brought it back.
So it turns out, chat, I tried to eat again normally for the first time. My permanent crown fell out, which was caused by overbite I have, which poked a tiny hole in the tooth. Oh, that's good. Can you turn the quality higher? I have it on max. So you might have to do your own end.
Find their way back into it. I was convinced this is going to a map number 5. This looked unlosable. Alas, Skitzer taking off the back line. and then they just edge it out. Incredible stuff there, incredible stuff from both teams, really. Let's dive back into some highlights and talk about who really stood out, because a lot of players, I think, put on a really, really good show in this one.
For me, I think Muse really stepped up on Survasa at the end there. Like, I think the Genji, I was starting to question whether or not the Genji was going to be a great pick, because, you know, it's difficult when you don't have a tracer of your own, and that's why Skitzer was going kind of crazy, but Muse kind of redeems himself on that Survasa. A couple of big blades, a couple of ones that I question, but a couple of big blades winning fights that, as you said, Zoe, they had no right winning.
There wasn't really I feel like defining moments, especially on control. Like, Romani didn't really have many, like, oh, I'm hitting a blade, I'm getting kills. Rampages, like, we're winning these fights. But as the series, like, went on, Romani really clutched up, and that's what was the difference maker for me, at least, for sheer cold. But then it was, like, the adaptations from One Man Army, and then Skitzer obviously just going absolutely nuclear on the Tracer. Just a lot of these initial picks that Romani was finding, Skitzer was just kind of like, okay, we'll just even it up. It's not a problem. And then you've blown so many cooldowns to keep Romani alive, and it's just the slow attrition. Well, it's not really that slow, but the attrition game in the end of it all.
Yeah.
Dude, some days I open Twitter and I go, I fucking don't want to be here anymore.
The thing that I thought was really interesting on that Survasa is it went so back and forth.
You had to wait 3 weeks for a permanent too? Jesus Christ, Retro.
It's one of those
so wait, what did they go today? Take it out?
Moving around the map and can be shoehorned into this composition, but you can see neither of them really wanted to stay on that ultimate. And I think for the second and third and fourth round, I think we saw Thematic and Romani switch off of Doomfist and onto Doomfist like
too,
3 times
bitch.
each, right? Because like that's how close every single fight was. That little edge of getting there,
the Grandpa Simpsons meme
was making the difference in some of these maps.
I don't understand it.
We saw some different looks here. I feel like yesterday it was just mostly Orisa. Of course, a few maps here and there. Some other stuff was being, and then there's Hottie, you know, just doing Hottie things. So we don't really like mention it. But I like.
And then roll put every tooth back in. I hate this, dude. Teeth problems are legitimately my biggest nightmare.
Even if it might not be the most optimal comp, but still.
Yeah, it definitely has its merits. And it is fun, yeah. It is cool to watch, especially when Queen's not, like, perma-picked. I think that's what makes Queen fun.
Damn, 5.7 KD.
The problem with the Queen is
96 limbs, 21 deaths.
Skitzer was just
that's
looking at
wild.
And it's just like,
dude, that guy popped off.
DPS passive, you can just get so much damage in. Like, you're not shooting an Orisa who has the fortify and the armor, etc.
So
Skitzer is just doing so much work. You can see, obviously, the
teeth problem solved. True. I try to take good care of my teeth.
That pulse was very, very nice.
Good brushing and whatnot.
And it's just, I think Skitzer was all over sheer cold this entire map. Yeah, we talked about how it's like, hey, he's going to go unchecked because that's the way sheer cold is playing. But even then, that can be really difficult. And you can see how much pressure was going on to Skitzer at certain times. You know, I think sheer cold made adaptations as the series went on to be like, hey, we, as the Lucio and the Genji, you guys need to check the Tracer just a little bit more. And Skitzer did adjust pretty well there on Survasa and came out with some.
Did you guess which character you think will get the wildest buff next season? Dude, you guys are like hardcore fishing, like for like. I'm not a prophet, guys. Like, I can make analysis of like what's happening, but like straight up, just like.
Skitzer will be on my.
The universe is telling me.
I would be a little bad. Yeah,
and Orisa will get another buff. Like, it's like, okay, first off, that's probably true. The second off, like, guys, come on.
We see them again in a new rendition in stage 3 of perhaps they're going to stick together. Generally, Scott, actually, and Jack as well, I'm wondering, would you be more the type of people who are like, now we gotta stick it out as a team, just work on the creation?
It's gotta be Mercy because she's getting a mythic. Nah.
Outside the window and start anew.
I doubt.
Where are we at here?
Mercy doesn't need buffs because of a mythic. Mercy players are gonna buy that mythic no matter fucking what, and they know it.
I think especially this early on, especially in the OWCS life cycle, like you just want to stick it out with the team, especially if you're making it repeatedly to this stage, like making it out of Swiss. You just want to get better and better and better as a squad. So I'd probably say just stick it out. Like there's going to be a lot of
and I don't even blame you for buying it. It's fucking worth. It's just, you know.
Stage to stage, but in an ideal world, maybe you make 1 sub, maybe make 2 at max. But like, yeah, I would say sticking as a team would be.
Yeah, as Retro, I feel like that's like a good way to get somebody to like, I don't know, show up at your house. So be careful with that one.
And now they're still in it to win it. Let's hear the winning moment of a one-man army against Sheer Cold.
Carry half left side.
We already talked about it, but my take is the ball changes are a big buff.
Queen, shoot queen.
I am not surprised by that. I am not surprised by that.
Nice.
I think ball has already great survivability. It's just like, what could he do with that survivability? And if he gets more tools to do stuff with it in a meta that is so much about standing there and just either not dying or just being hyper mobile and trying to be like survivable, I could see it. Although if I'm completely honest, one, I'm not a big fan of ball, so it's like whatever. But I would rather ball than just like the constant meta of Orisa, Sigma, Malga, where you just, or Hog, and you just pick the flavor of the week that stand there and try not to die and just like, it's just, I hate it. It's getting to me a little bit over the years.
So simple at that point, but it actually started to fall into place. You know, I think we had a really good setup.
Like I was having so much fun this season and going like crazy hard playing, and then that Malga meta hit for like a few days, and that just killed it. All of it just died. I couldn't pick it back up.
Oh man, I mean,
even though it was very quickly patched out, just man, I just couldn't do it because now it's Orisa, I guess, but still.
Like, there's some scary competitions up at the very top. Like, how do you rate your chances?
I think it's pretty tough. I think we've had a lot of hurdles to get across, you know, in terms of our permanent roster.
I think Cass is a good pick. I think Cass is solid for ranked. I mean, even in pro play, he gets a sim play, but
so it's been hard to have like consistent old track and old
I'm not a tank main, so what is a tank supposed to be like? How it was in Overwatch 1?
A really good day, obviously, if we don't make mistakes.
I mean, ideally, but that's not what it is nowadays. Yo, competition with 25 months. Appreciate it. Kiri needs buffs.
Obviously, it felt like you guys had a
what are you smoking? Whatever you're smoking, give me a massive order of it, because you are smoking on the good shit.
How did you guys deal with that and
good shit, like you're beyond the clouds. You're touching satellites.
As we were going to the match, we're like, it's push. You know, something like this might happen. You know, we were already ready for it. We obviously would rather play Winston on that map, but we know Romani loves Queen, so that's kind of the situation. So we actually don't have too much practice playing Orisa comps on that map, but I mean, we did pretty well. We did make some mistakes in some old fights. But yeah, after that was done, we were sort of like, all right, next map. That's it.
Lock in. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. We would love to see that, and we get to see you and the squad going at it again in just a week's time from now. Enjoy some rest and celebrate.
They're taking away Ryan's hammer next season.
Joining us.
Yeah, and replacing it with a squirt gun.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Is that hot honey? Yeah, hot honey is fucking gas. I do this like meal delivery thing I think I told you about. And they have hot honey on like one of the things. It's so good. I simp for Zoe, that's kind of base. I respect it. Give Ryan 4-second shatter. You give Ryan 5-second shatter. It's still gonna get Suzu'd all the same way.
Closer.
Almost there, closer to the conclusion. That's right.
Match, would you say?
Yeah, okay. I knew that was coming back to bite me.
You want to use the big words in case Jack doesn't understand.
Okay, thanks, Zoe. Yeah, there'll be one more match. There's one more decider left. Yeah, okay. Peps versus one man army.
Jack, get Mike's hot honey and put it on everything. It'll change you. I feel like you're saying this, but I feel like I put you onto this like 9 months ago. Like I feel like a month or like 9 months to like a year ago, I was talking about how good it was, and I discovered it. And now you're coming back here and telling me about it.
Are
you sure?
Either, so you have another week to scrims. That's the nice thing about.
Exactly.
Okay, Kat. That's the nice thing.
I definitely remember talking about it to chat though.
Winning this match is you get to go to next week. You get to look at Team Peps' matchups. You get to understand how you guys want to scrim and practice. And
yeah, I don't believe you.
At that point, anything can happen.
That's right.
Hot honey and pepperoni pizza goes hard. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what that's what the one of the things I got this week is. It's pepperoni pizza with hot honey on it.
Good one. I like that.
It comes in like a little container. You like drizzle it on yourself. Check my logs. How am I gonna go back fucking a year in the logs? I'd be here all day.
That was good. I don't know why you guys are face You guys are crazy.
You eat sour cream with a spoon? Listen, man, sour cream's good, but
yeah, there were so many sick plays today.
It's your dream meal? Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I have this really bad problem.
She's 2-0.
Where I constantly just swap. You know, like
true.
1 month it's one thing, 1 month it's the next.
It's like when you put them up against someone who's
I'm kind of back on like an Italian food kick at the moment.
SK's gonna dominate me, and SK's gonna feel confident going up against Chio in the future.
Like in this exact moment.
She's about to go up against the very best.
I feel like I haven't had veal in a long time. Like veal parm would probably go hard.
Glad to finally hit 12 months. Thanks for all the great time and content. 2 hearts.
Frustrating
as well. 12 months. You know what I had last night? I had some 5-cheese ravioli, and there was a different meal that I got in like the thing, in the package, Cupcake, and I forget what it's called, but it's like, it was like the pasta wheels, like the pasta wheels with some sauce, like a red sauce. It wasn't that good, but it came with burrata, which is like a cheese. So I took the cheese out of that one and put it in the ravioli one, and then we broke it up. Oh, so good. Dessert though, that also changes a lot, but I would probably say in this moment, cheesecake.
Yeah.
Cheesecake is gas.
My phone could connect to my PC if I tried to do that.
I honestly don't even know how to make that magic happen. I barely managed to turn it on at the start of a day.
Yeah, that's too much work to make those, Sam. I'm sorry.
Let's take a look at the standings overall
okay.
in the EMEA region.
My own personal rule is if I'm making something at home, it's got to be like 4 ingredients or less, or 3. Other than that, I'm ordering it. I'm ordering it either delivery, meal delivery, restaurant, don't care.
They might have lost, but they
not dealing with it. Not my problem.
Sorry, not the queen.
Bug fan makes it 6 months. Appreciate it.
To do some magic, but it didn't, unfortunately.
It was about to go crazy.
I know the limits of my own abilities. Okay, I am self-aware.
The close series that we just had, maybe One Man Army versus Sheer Cold, that was extremely close considering their previous bout in the Swiss. Group D is going to be the
ND, leagues of prime.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure. That group is
cooking is less expensive though. Yeah, but it's also a shit experience if you.
But Ataraxia, their spot.
Yeah, I mean you've never experienced it, but you have to take my word for it.
That's right. However,
you had the cheesecake dip that Philadelphia brand makes. Are you talking about like those little packages? It's like one side is cheesecake, or like the other side is something else, or it's like you like it's like the crumbs and then you like push it over, and it's like almost like a.
The sad task of saying goodbye to Scott and Jack.
No, it's a big old dip.
Goodbye.
No, I don't think I have then.
We'll see you next week. I always try to forget you, but it never works. So.
Okay, that's messed up. Okay,
that's fucked up.
Messed up. What? Yeah, Scott's gone.
Eat an Aussie meat pie, you'll get addicted. I promise you, I won't. Listen, I don't want to say anything. Like I've never had it, but.
We're covering NA.
I just don't believe. I was thinking I'm also one of those people that's not pro or against at this point. So I think there's probably a lot of people that are also the same way I think, where it's like not for it, not against it. Because there's still a lot that could be done with today, you know? Yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons to both. There's so many pros and cons. Like if you're talking like pure